It's Week 5 of the National Football League. And coming up, it's the 49ers' speedy running back. He was outstanding last week, racking up a ton of yards and touchdowns. It's the 49ers and the Cowboys on Sunday night.
EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the so-called Silicon Valley and Levi Stadium in Santa Clara. Straight ahead, it's a matchup of unbeatens, as it'll be the Dallas Cowboys taking on the San Francisco 49ers. So the football will be at the 25-yard line as this offense gets set to take over. What a pickup this man was last year. It's Christian McCaffrey. Give him 3 there on the first play of the game, and it's second down. Well, this defense for the Cowboys, they were strong last week, CD, and that went over New England.
And the way they did it was by getting after the quarterback. Sacked him 7 times in that game. Came from all angles, created a lot of illusions, and especially just beat them man for man. That's the kind of defense that really frustrates an opponent.
And they work this run upfield across the 45. That one a gain of 20 and a first down. See some head shaking on that defensive sideline because so much focus on taking away what he did last week as an NFC Offensive Player of the Week. Big gain there for him to start.
I love your observation because you would think they'd be prepared for him after what he did the previous week. But sometimes that skill set actually intimidates a defense, and he used it to his great advantage.
From just across the midfield stripe, here's a 2nd and 7. A 1-yard gain there following the 3-yard pickup on first down. You look at this Cowboy defense. They were strong last week, CD, and that went over New England.
I just consider myself fortunate that I'm not in charge of the offensive line. They gave up 7 sacks last week. And if things don't improve in this game, head coach isn't going to be looking at the offensive line. He's going to be looking at the offensive line coach. And that's when things get dicey.
A good pickup there, 21 yards. On first down, this is McCaffrey. And they'll get this down to the 10. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling. Quite the opening drive march they're on right now.
It looks a lot like what we saw in practice prior to the game, doesn't it? You know, because on that last big practice.
And across the chalk into the end zone. It's a 49er touchdown. A great effort there. His 16th rushing touchdown on the year. And the 49ers will claim the early lead. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. A lot of time for this unit to game plan on the sideline after that drive that they watched the other side just score. But remember, last time they were out, they scored as well. We'll see if they can seize that momentum right back.
And they haven't had a lot of time to cool off from reaching the end zone the last time, so haven't been able to keep themselves mentally sharp and into this game, even though they haven't been on the field. And you and I both know, one big play, though, gets them right back up to that level.
And that's just a solid, good physical run there as he motors for 9 yards. The Niners are the perfect 4-0 to start the campaign. They've been playing their best football of the year. Winners are 4 in a row.
And let's remember that last week that this offense, they played about as well as it possibly could play. Touchdown after touchdown. They were absolutely unstoppable in that game. They'll be hard-pressed to do it again, repeat that type of performance. But boy, were they sensational just a week ago.
Purdy now to throw off the play action. And he will find his man, Samuel. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10.
1st and 10 at the 17-yard line.
Now a handoff up the middle. Ortiz. And a good job of just fighting through one tackle there to pick up about 3. 2nd down coming up. 2nd and 7 with our score tied at 7, but they're planning to change that soon. Only question, will they get 3 or 6 out of it? And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. It's a 10-yard gain there to set them up 1st and goal. They'll try to run this one in. And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, San Francisco. A great play. So back to live action. Let's see what this offense can do here on this play. They'll start on the ground here on first down. Takes it to about the 37.
That's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8. That last play, backwards a yard.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package, and that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
On 3rd down, it's Ortiz. Call it a 1-yard gain on the play, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
In my humble estimation, terrific work there defensively. Running backs trying to get wide, get to the sideline, and they beat him to the spot, forced him out of bounds, pretty close to the line of scrimmage.
So it looks like the offense isn't going anywhere. They're going to go for it on 4th and 7. They're going to try and throw. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. A gain of 26 and a conversion there as well on 4th down. Line of scrimmage moves from one 37-yard line to the other as they come up 1st and 10. Sheds up, breaks the tackle. Now Allen. He's still on his feet. Touchdown, 49ers. A great effort there. On his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. They'll start this drive out on the ground. Shifts by him at the 25. And a missed tackle there as he pushes forward for a gain of 4.
End result of that one, a nice 4-yard gain. So you can use that to set up your play-action game, or you can come right back and continue to run the football because as an offensive play caller, you're on schedule and feeling pretty good about your next couple of calls.
They take a shot downfield there, but it winds up falling incomplete.
They decided the opportunity was there and launched a deep ball, but he was unable to get away from the defender, couldn't create space, couldn't uncover at the end of the route, and that one winds up incomplete.
He'll buy some time right. He's got his target. That's complete. Escapes the defender. And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped. That's a gain of nearly 40 yards on 3rd and medium to pick up the first. Purdy bootlegging it. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
Yes, sir. How about an attaboy there on 1st down? Got his hand in and knocked it away.
2nd and 10. Up the middle they go. It's Ortiz. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. 94 yards rushing now for the NFL leader coming into this ballgame. Right back to him on 1st down. And a good run as he manages 7 yards down to the 17.
Well, that last run makes this a 100-yard night. I've loved the way he's hit the holes. He's been quick, he's been decisive, and he's been a whole lot of fun to watch.
And they corral him just a couple yards shy of the end zone. That gain of 15 gets him on the doorstep, 1st and goal.
And that's how you pick up a 1st down. Those shoulders went from parallel to square, and then he brought force with him to finish that run.
And it's complete. In the end zone, touchdown, 49ers. Charlie Warner. All right, the offense back out there now. Let's see what they can put together. They'll start on the ground here on 1st down. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. A big chunk on the ground there, 27 yards. Well, he's broken off some big big-time runs here in this first half.
Man, let's just face it. When you go into a game, you think you've got the plays that are going to work, but when you actually get out there and they're starting to happen, your confidence rises, and he's running with terrific ability right now.
Purdy. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
I think it's pretty safe to say that when you're up 3 touchdowns, the last thing you want to do is hang one up there and put it in jeopardy and possibly get it intercepted. You got a nice lead. You should be able to protect it. But if you get careless with the football, look out.
And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. Calling no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd down. So now 3rd and 10, a big play to start the drive, but nothing since. This is caught at the 20. He's got it first and maybe more. Touchdown, 49ers. George Kittle, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the 49ers are able to add on to their first half lead.
Boy, Charles, this offense is just so explosive. They lead the league in scoring, and another example of just how good they are right there on that play.
The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive.
And with a 3-score lead already, this is not time for a momentum change, so I'd imagine they'd be happy to just take this into the locker room.
The 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts as they stop it with 11 seconds remaining in this first half.
They'll keep it on the ground again here.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call. And unless this is a quick incompletion, this is likely the last play here of this first half. And he's going to be taken down here as that will lead us to the end of the first half of play.
Message received here. No need to wait. We're going to skip halftime and get right back to the action. Here comes the 3rd quarter.
So this offense will head back out there. They're in excellent field position after the fumble recovery. On 1st down, Ortiz. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone.
Any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before that he always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
Now a 2nd down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete.
So many times when we talk about coverage, we're just about a defender running with a receiver, but a big part of it is understanding where the football is, finding it. In this case, when it arrived, it wasn't a surprise, and he was able to bat it away.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material.
Flushed out right. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. Give him 10 that time, escaping the danger, running with it, and picking up a 1st down.
Partner just a second earlier, and they might have had him because they certainly thought they were going to close in and drop him behind the line of scrimmage, but he had just enough time to dodge the pressure, and he ends up getting yardage before being stopped.
Now a throw to the end zone on 1st down, but it winds up incomplete.
He did a fine job there of not hitting him before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
They get 3 yards closer, but still work to do. It's 3rd and goal.
They'll try again.
And across the goal line, into the end zone, touchdown 49ers. Taking it in from a yard out, as his guys are able to push that lead out a bit further.
Well, this offensive line is really stepping.
The 49er offense set to get this drive underway.
This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out. Looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
55 yards rushing for him now in the ball game. 2 yards still to go. Third down now.
And 2.
Back to throw, Purdy. Hard throw, incomplete.
A good job in coverage there. They took away his top read on the play, so he went through his progressions and ended up settling on his running back who scored on their last possession, but the coverage held. It goes incomplete.
And he is not going anywhere. They stop him for no gain. Boy, a curious... So the football will be at the 25-yard line as this offense gets set to take over.
Purdy off the play fake.
He finds his man, complete. That's Ortiz. A gain of 32 that time.
Well, this game has certainly had no shortage of offense. Revved up from the start. And here's yet another big play. Boy, both defenses have just got to be dragging out there because they've been run ragged throughout.
And now the ball's out, fumbled near midfield.
Oh, and one of the linemen on the other side has got it.
When that ball popped free, we could hear it all the way up here. Those guys down on the field alerting everyone of the fumble. He's lucky that his offensive mates picked him up and jumped on him.
Yeah, and you have to think to yourself, and I'm sure they've been echoing it on the sideline and into the...
And this is caught. A big play there for the Niners. And a very appropriate gain as well, 49 yards.
This play is a thing of beauty when it works as designed because they let the running back slip out of the backfield and head down the sideline on a wheel route. Number one, it's easy for him to get lost. And number two, really tough for the linebacker to run with him. And this ball's right on the money and leads to a big play.
They'll try to run this one in. And he pushes forward but comes up short of the goal line as he'll get a yard down to about the 1.
Good work there, holding them out on first down. And this is going to be a battle down here on the goal line. Can they hold their ground for 2, maybe even 3 more plays?
They'll try to run this one in. Stop short. Down at the 1. Had a broken tackle, but couldn't get it all the way home. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. They're knocking on the door as they come to the line here on 3rd and goal from the 1. And a loss of 3 to bring up 4th.
This has not been a fun game for this defense. They've definitely had their share of struggles, but they needed to make a play right there, and they finally get it done on 3rd and goal.
Flush to his right. And across the chalk into the end zone. It's a 49er touchdown. Brock Purdy.
Charles, normally when you see a group score this many points, it's a complete blowout, but instead they needed every single one of those in this close, high-scoring affair.
And Brandon, I'm still on the edge of my seat after that one, because when you have that much scoring and it still comes down to a one-possession game at the end, that's not something we see very often. And in this case, these offenses, they brought it. The defenses, they're going to need some work going forward.
So for the 49ers, they improved to 5-0 now on the young season. And they will hit the road next week for a date with the Cleveland Browns. Meanwhile, for Dallas, it was a good first month, but they'll fall to 4-1 as they suffer their first loss. And they will try to get back in the swing of things next week on the road.